everybody, this is GeGe from GeGe Movement. I'm back today with a yoga Pilates Fusion flow. We're going to start standing with the feet hip width apart, starting with some thoracic breathing. So taking the hands to the sides of the rib cage. As you breathe in, you're going to feel that rib cage fill with air, and as you breathe out, it's going to empty and your fingers come closer together again. So as you breathe in, fingers move away as the rib cage widens, and as you exhale, you'll feel those fingers move closer in towards each other. Just a couple more breaths here. And one last one, just to really get nice and grounded into today's flow. Good job. Taking the hands down, just taking a second to plant the feet into the ground. Take a big deep breath and let's step to the top of the mat. We're going to start with some Pilates roll down. So we're going to roll down head first, vertebrae by vertebrae. Take a deep breath in at the top and exhale all the way down. Generous bend in the knees if you need. Inhale at the bottom and exhale to come all the way back up to standing. 3 more of those. Inhale at the top, exhale all the way down. Inhale at the bottom, exhale all the way back up, vertebrae by vertebrae, as if you're picking up a bicycle chain, link by link. And again we go, rolling down and rolling back up. Really nice way to warm up those back muscles. Inhale at the top and exhale, rolling all the way down. Nice job. Come back up one more time. And then rolling the shoulders a couple of times at the top and sliding the shoulder blades down your back each time. And we're going to take some roll down sun salutations here. So you're going to inhale at the top and exhale to roll down. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. And exhale, plant the hands and step it back to a plank pose. Your choice, either knees, chest and chin, or chaturanga to upward facing dog, as I am doing here. Lifting the chest as you inhale and exhale back to your downwards facing dog. Always the option to take the knees down in that chaturanga. Pedal out your dog 4 times. Look to the top of the mat and step or hop your way back into that forward fold. Inhale, flat back, and exhale, fold. Roll all the way up to standing. Roll the shoulders back at the top. Let's do that a couple more times. Here we go, rolling down. Inhale, flat back, half lift, nice right angle with the body, and exhale, fold. Plant the palms, step it back. You have the option to bring the knees down here or take your chaturanga. I'm showing the alternative version here, coming into a smaller back bend here, and then pushing back through your knees to downward facing dog. So whichever version works for you today. Pedaling 4 times, pushing the ground away. Look to the top of the mat and step or hop your way there. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Roll your way up, vertebrae by vertebrae. And then take a nice roll of the shoulders at the top. You've got 1 more round. Here we go. Rolling all the way down. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Finding a flow now with the breath. Plant the palms, step it back to plank pose, your version of chaturanga to upward facing dog. Inhale, lift the chest, make sure shoulders are away from the ears, and exhale back to downward facing dog. You pedal 4 times. Beautiful job. Look to the top of the mat, step or hop your way there. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift, hopefully finding a little bit more warmth in those muscles now, and start to roll all the way up to standing. Take a nice roll of the shoulders at the top. Now we're going to take our hips back and come into chair pose. So this is a little bit like a squat. And think about tilting your hips so that you're not fully arching your spine. A little bit of awareness in those hips. We're going to pulse 8 times with the right heel lifted. Good job. And then swapping to the left heel. Just one heel up at a time. And then 8 more times on the right, warming up through those quads and those thighs, and 8 times on the left. Good job. Now both heels down, and then lift both heels, arms come back. Little balance challenge here. It's okay if you wobble. Find a focus point in front of you. Now bring the hands to prayer and slowly sink down, coming into a crouching position, and then try not to use the hands. Come to seated, and we're going to lie down onto our backs, coming into the 100. There's 3 options for this exercise. You can either have feet on the ground, knees in tabletop, or legs extended with feet turned out. Either way, you're going to lift your head and chest off the ground, lift the hands and elbows, and start beating the hands with the breath. So we breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, keep going, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, shoulders away from ears, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, let it rest. Well done. That is an intense and heated core exercise. Bring the knees in towards the chest and give yourself a little rock side to side. Now, keeping hold of the left knee, extend the right leg to the floor, but without touching the floor. We're going to take a nice single knee pull with the head and shoulders off the ground. You've got 8 of these. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now switching to single leg pulls, so both legs straight. Option to stick to the single knee pulls if you're finding this a little bit too challenging on your hamstrings. 2 more of these before we go into a low boat hollow hold here. This is going to make your core shake. Make sure that your lower back is into the ground, nice elongated legs, and dropping down to the ground. Well done. We're going to take a nice supine twist here, so pull your right knee in towards your chest and then crossing it over across your body, and then looking to the opposite hand. Inhale and exhale, finding a beautiful twist into the spine, and then taking that to the other side, finding your spinal twist on the other side, looking to the opposite hand, opening up through that pectoral, letting the breath fill the whole body. Beautiful job. Now cross the ankles and start to roll back and forth. This might feel a bit silly at first, but we're rocking back and forth, massaging through your spine until you come all the way up to seated. Roll over your feet and come to a tabletop position, all fours, hands underneath the shoulder points, knees underneath the hip points, and coming into your traditional cat-cow. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin and chest, and exhale, round everything in so that you're looking at your belly button. Take a couple of rounds of this. It can take any form you want to. It doesn't have to be this traditional form. From here, we're coming into bird dog. So extend your right leg and your left arm, lift them off the ground. Inhale, and as you exhale, crunch knee to elbow. Extend, crunch knee to elbow. You've got 2 more reps of this. And 1 more, trying to keep the hips as square as possible. From here, coming into a wonky table, so your right leg is going to move out to the right, the left hand out to the left. Definitely a challenge for the obliques and for your stability overall. Now coming into your tiger pose, so you're going to reach back for the back foot, holding on to the top of the foot, and this is going to lift your chest. Coming into tiger pose, bit of a back bend, bit of a balance here, and let that go with control. We're going to do exactly all of that just on the other side. So this time you're extending your left leg and your right arm along the ground and then lifting them off, extending, inhale, and as you exhale you're going to crunch in. We crunch and we extend 4 times, always thinking about keeping those hips as square as possible. Try not to back bend in this position as you re-extend out. Finding your wonky table, so left leg goes to the left, right arm goes to the right, finding that stability challenge. Keeping that core nice and strong throughout. Wobbles are very normal. And then coming into that balance challenge with the back bend. This is called tiger pose, pushing hand into foot, foot into hand to lift the chest. And letting that go with control. Now we're going to come into a modified side plank. The right leg is going to extend along the floor. You're going to be on your left knee. The right arm reaches up to the sky and you push through your left hand. Start to lift that outstretched leg, tap it forward with the hand and then slightly extending it back. Tapping forward. So you've got a little crunch happening here at the front and then extending it back. Beautiful job. Really important to keep that body as still as possible as you're moving through this movement so that you don't fall forwards or backwards. Nice job. Transitioning straight through to the other side, exactly the same thing. Reaching this time the left leg across the floor, the left arm up towards the sky, lifting that left leg, tap it forward and tap it back. And the idea here, as much as possible, is to think about gliding that leg along a glass table so it stays at the same height as at all times, which isn't always easy to do. It's all about control. Really try to extend through that leg, think ballerina. Nice job. And then coming back to the center, again with control. We're going to take a quick core challenge here. So tucking the toes under, you're going to hover the knees just for a couple of moments before we move up to our downward facing dog. So hovering, really pushing through both hands, and then finally downward facing dog. Take some nice pedals here, nice and deep, bending one knee and then the other, pushing the ground away, feeling those juicy hamstrings. We're going to go into a little bit of a flow here. So reaching the right leg all the way up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Inhale, exhale, stack the hips one on top of the other. Inhale, re-extend that leg. And exhale, come forward to a plank and crunch the knee in. 3-legged dog, 3-legged plank. Keep transitioning through those movements, keeping the core tight at all times. Now pausing here, you're going to bring the knee to the right elbow, left elbow, right elbow, left elbow. You've got 8 reps of this. Really crunching through that core and then bringing the foot between the hands. Finally coming into a low lunge, stretching through that left hip flexor and then transition to your half splits, flexing the front foot. Nice stretch through the right hamstring. Inhale, low lunge, reach the chest up. And exhale, coming into your half split, stretching that hamstring, really looking forward, trying not to slump through the back. Lift the back knee, you're coming into a twisted low lunge here, twisting towards your front knee, and then bring that back knee down, look back at your hand, and then maybe you're going to grab that back foot coming into a quad stretch here, just for a couple of moments. The shoulders are away from the ears at all times, so thinking tall. I'm 5'1". I have to think tall all of the time. Going back into your downward facing dog, exactly all of that on the other side. So reaching the left leg up to the sky, inhale, and crunching forward. 3-legged dog and 3-legged plank. Keep that going. 3-legged dog, 3-legged plank. Make sure that you're really coming over your hands as you come into that plank. We're not shying away from the plank. Here we go, swing side to side to side to side, trying to keep the body as still as possible, and then planting the foot into the center of the hands. Inhale, low lunge with the back knee down, and exhale, half splits, flex the front foot. Inhale, Reach it up. And exhale, find that hamstring stretch on the other side. Lovely job. Rolling forward, lift the back knee, and then lift the left arm all the way up to the sky, finding space in the chest. Lower down the back knee, look to your back foot and maybe hold onto it, coming into your quad stretch on the other side. This can be quite an intense stretch. The quad is a very large muscle, so don't worry if this is particularly uncomfortable, just do what you can. Good job. And then transitioning back to your downward facing dog. We're going to take a couple of moments in an extended child's pose, big toes to touch, knees nice wide open, letting the chest fall to the floor and reaching the hands forward. I'm going to give you a couple of moments to breathe here. Okay, back to it. So coming up from your child's pose, you're going to find yourself back into a downward facing dog. We're going to take a little bit more of a standing flow here, work those muscles a little bit more. So reach your right leg up into a three-legged dog, and as you exhale, bring in the right foot through between the hands. This time the back knee is lifted. We're in a high lunge. Reach your arms all the way up to the sky. We're going to tap the knee down and straighten the leg 8 times. So tap and straighten, tap and straighten, really working through that left hip flexor here, really working those hamstrings, activating the hamstrings, keeping that lunge nice and low, and then transitioning forward into a warrior 3. So you're balancing on that right leg. Inhale, exhale with control, bringing that left knee in towards the chest. Warrior 3. And chest comes up, knee comes up as if you were pulling it on a string. You got 2 more of these. And if you wobble, if you have to tap the foot down a couple of times, please know this is totally okay. Balance feels different every single day. 1 last round of this. And popping that foot back into your low lunge, transitioning through to warrior 2, looking at your front right hand, and then keep gazing at it as you reach all the way up and back, still bending nice and deep into your front knee. And transition by cartwheeling the hands forward to frame the front foot, pivot on the back foot, and we're coming into pyramid pose for a couple of breaths. So straightening both legs, think of squaring the hips. Nice job, and step it back into downward facing dog. We have exactly the same on the other side, so left leg all the way up to the sky, and exhale, left foot through between the hands. Back knee stays lifted. Inhale, lift the chest. We're going to take those 8 knee taps. So tap down and up and down and up. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful job. Transitioning forward, looking forward into your warrior 3. Good job. If you need to tap the foot down a couple of times, it's okay. Reaching the knee up towards the chest, and then steadying yourself as you hinge forward back into warrior 3. You got 4 of these. One side may feel a little steadier than the other. Remembering to find length when you go back into that warrior 3. Your last warrior 3 here, you're going to transition into your high lunge again, lifting the chest, and then pivot on the back foot, coming into warrior 2. Nice strong pushing down with the arms before you reach up and back for reverse warrior. Inhale, exhale, cartwheel the hands down as you pivot on the back foot, and then straighten both legs into your pyramid pose. You may want to have the chest a little higher, holding onto the shin or onto the thigh. Stepping back into your downward facing dog, and once again you're going to drop down into a child's pose for a moment. You can either take the extended one, or you can do what I'm doing here and take the traditional one with the knees closed and the hands facing backwards. Okay, this is it. We're moving into your finisher, which is another core exercise, this time for the obliques. we're coming into a rainbow side lift. So you're going to stack the top leg over the bottom leg. You're going to create a rainbow with your body and with your arm by pushing into your bottom left hand. So lift the hips, pushing through the feet, lift the arm up and overhead, then bring the hips down. We're dipping down and then creating that rainbow all the way up and overhead. We have 8 of these on each side, really working through those obliques for 4, for 3, keeping that chest open, for 2, really push through those feet every single time, and for 1, gorgeous job everybody. Whew, that really gets those obliques. We're simply going to move it straight over to the other side. So this time you'll be pressing into your right hand. You're stacking the feet one over the other. You have the option to do this on your knees as well if that was just a little bit too intense. So this would be a half rainbow side lift. Completely up to you, whichever version you choose. Here we go. 8, 7, really lift those hips to create that rainbow effect. 6, the shoulders stay away from the ears as much as possible. 5, really pushing through those legs so that you're using those leg muscles as well as your obliques. 4, your 3 from the end. Your 2, you've got this. Make this look easy, I know that you can. And 1. Beautiful job, you've finished. We're just going to finish off with a little stretch here, taking the legs into mermaid position. Your left leg is in front, your right leg behind. Think mermaid on a rock, and you're going to stretch over towards your right with that left arm, opening up through the chest. Should feel delicious through the hips and through the side body, and then taking a forward fold over your front left leg. Proud of yourself and the work that you've done today, and then you're going to take a little twist towards your front knee, looking over the shoulder. And I'm just taking a little look at the moon and the window. Looks super pretty. We're going to do that on the other side. So this time your right leg is in front, and you're going to take a side body stretch over towards the left with the right arm. Maybe you're looking up at that top arm. Really opening through those side body muscles. Take your stretch over your front right leg. And then finally taking your twist, turning towards your front knee and looking over the shoulder. Maybe once more looking at that moon. Gorgeous job everybody. I hope you feel so proud of yourself. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.